What's up guys, Drawalaw here, and today I'm going to be filming Inktober day number 1. That is right. Today the prompt is fish, and I don't know how I'm supposed to draw that, so I'm just going to take you guys along the journey of me figuring out, coloring, and inking a finished illustration. So let's get started with the sketch. I knew that when I thought of fish, I wanted to draw like a girl, maybe looking at her pet fish. I wasn't sure if I was going to draw her from like a front view or a side view, but then I ended up settling on her looking like in profile view, and the fish is going to be looking at her through profile view too. And I don't know, I think it just gives this little bit of a cute kind of effect that she's looking at the fish and the fish is looking back at her. I don't know, I just really like it. And I drew the fish in his little fishbowl tank kind of thing. I had to look at a reference for that because I have no idea how to draw a fishbowl. I have had a few pet fishes in my time, although I don't ever know what ends up happening to them. I think I've had maybe like 5 fishes. All these little tiny fish, and I just put them in a tank. And I think it was when I was younger, I always loved having pet fishes. And I also drew her, like the fish tank is on a table and she's holding onto the table, like just really trying to get a good look at the fish. And as you can see, I switched to a fluffy jacket because it started to get cold in my room, so don't mind that. And for this, I decided that I really wanted to try to improve my line art, especially through Inktober, and maybe try to manipulate the line art in a way where it can give a cool effect to my drawing. So I did this thing where I use my thickest liner and I'm going around the edge of the drawing to kind of give it a nice outline. And then I'm going with a thinner liner and I'm lining everything that's within the inside. So it looks like the outside is thicker and the inside is thinner, and I like the way that looks. If you guys are interested in my line art video, I have a video where I explain, all the processes of how I go about my line art and stuff like that. I'll link it up in the eye, or I'll even include it in the video description if you're interested. And now we're moving on to the fish. For some reason, my camera stopped filming and it's just the end of the line art there. Sorry about that, guys, but there wasn't too much left. It was just the fish and I think her face. Now I'm going in with the colors. I decided that I want to make her skin tone darker to contrast with the light colored fishbowl, but then the table ended up being dark, so then I kind of regretted doing it, but I think it turned out good in the end. No complaints or anything. Just, I make mental notes to myself what to do next time. So I'm really trying to put my all in when I'm shading this because I want to use Inktober as a way to help me improve my drawings. I think by drawing every day and being challenged to think outside the box on how I can create a drawing using this one word, I'm hoping to really help my drawings, and I want to try new things. I think experimentation, I always say this, but it is very true. Experimentation, I think, is the best way to, improve yourself in anything. So that includes drawing as well. So I experiment with some shading marks here and there, like maybe I wouldn't have shaded the arm as much as I did, but I went about it today and I like the way it turned out. Also, when I color the fishbowl, because the fishbowl is clear, I tried to give it like this see-through look, and while there is still place to improve, I did surprise myself a little bit by the look I got, and I was happy about that. So like I say, experiment always. Now for the hair. You might be asking, why on earth would you make her hair green? And I'm not sure I could give you an answer. It was kind of a spontaneous decision. I was a little bit tired of the blondes and browns and redheads I do. I just wanted to do something different, and it was either going to be green or blue. And I ended up settling on green. And you know what I thought? I thought to myself, it would have been so cool if I had planned this out beforehand and I'd made her like a zombie girl. If you guys have seen the Disney Channel movie Zombies, you know all the zombies have this green hair. And I thought it'd be so cute, because Inktober, October, it's around Halloween time, so zombie would have been fitting. But zombies have like a pale skin tone, so because I already made her so tan, it wouldn't have really worked out. but it's something cool to think about. Maybe in the next Inktober challenge I do, I'll try to think of a way to incorporate Halloween ideas into it. Also with the hair, as you notice, I really tried to go at it, even shade the strands that I drew in and shade the back. Hopefully I gave it a nice look. I don't know, it's a little bit different than how I'm used to shading the hair. I don't shade that much. But you know what? I really want to get better, so I'm determined to do what it takes. And you know what? I'm kind of happy by the way the green hair looks. It is a little bit confusing since green hair isn't really a standard hair color, but you know what? I like it. It's different. And I just think it adds something to the drawing. It's not so plain. It's just like, wow, green hair. Then for her eye, I was debating on, I'm like, should I make it green to match her hair? Or would that then be too much green? So then I settled on like a dark brown, just like a nice warm brown eye. I think that's cute as well. Now for her shirt, as you see here, I was not sure what to do. I didn't want to make it like a solid plain color because, I don't know, I didn't want it to be too much color. I felt like with the green hair and the desk right next to her, I just didn't want it to be an overload of colors. So I settled on making it gray, but I also didn't want it to be plain gray. I wanted some white to contrast with her darker skin tone. So I did a baseball tee kind of look, which is really cute because I don't do that too often. And I'm happy with the way it turned out, you know, just nice and simple, so I like it. I also shaded a little bit here and there with light gray for the white parts. That's how I shade my whites, by the way. I always use my lightest gray and I'll just shade it so that it gives the white a little bit of dimension rather than looking like flat white paper. Now for the fishbowl. I use the colorless blender a lot here, especially on the edges where I'm shading. After I shade, I always use the colorless blender because I feel like, I don't know if I'm doing it exactly right, but I think if I use the colorless blender, then it'll help me get a see-through look. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. Since it's day one, I'm okay with the result, you know, I'm happy with the way it looks, but going into Inktober, if I don't know how to do something in the future, I think I'm going to try my best to look it up and maybe find like a YouTube video that explains it. That way I can, you know, because I want to get better, I want to be able to draw this stuff. So I'm going to try to research and learn for myself rather than just going with the flow. So I kept the fishbowl mostly light, like light blue. I didn't really do any dark blue or shade it like from darker to lighter because I didn't want so much focus to be on the fish. I mean, there's only so much that people can look at a fish. I wanted more of the focus to be on the girl just because I was happy with the way I'd shaded her and the way her hair looked. So she was the main focal point of the drawing. And the fish, I was thinking, I'm like, what color should the fish be? And then I'm like, okay, I guess he could be like a goldfish. So I made his face part dark yellow, and then the tail blends into a lighter yellow. And then I also got this orange marker and use it as some speckles just around his face. I don't know if you can really see since it's a little bit zoomed out, but it's there. I just tried to add detail when I can. And I also didn't add that much stuff going on in his fishbowl. Like I didn't draw a castle or too much plants or anything like that. Just some pebble brown ground as well as this little green shrub plant thing right there. Okay, so now I'm going to be moving on to the desk that the fish is on. I don't know, is it a desk or a table? I'm just going to call it a table. And it was here where I realized maybe I shouldn't have made her skin tone dark because I'm trying to get contrast in my drawings, trying to become a better drawer and colorer, and I know contrast helps with that. And I'm like, oh no, is it like dark by dark? I don't want it to be like that. So I went over this desk multiple times just to increase the contrast, just so someone's able to tell that, oh, this is the desk, this is her skin tone. You can tell the difference. I think it worked out in the end. Like, I can definitely tell the desk and skin tone apart. I would have just liked to be a little bit more noticeable. That's all I'm saying. So I think this is my second time going over it, and now it's my third time going over it. But yeah, it ends up giving me a look I wanted. I wanted it to look 3D, where, you know, it's lighter on top and darker on the side and back. So that's why I was going all out like that. Oh, there it is, 4th time going over. Wow, 4 times. I didn't want to go over it too much though because I worried. I'm like, okay, I need to stop going over it at some point, otherwise this paper is going to start tearing up, or it's going to just be bleeding through and it'll be a mess. So after probably like the 4th or 5th time, I'm like, okay, enough is enough. Just leave it. That's probably the darkest it's going to get. Now, I feel like the picture was just missing something, just a little something to tie it in all together. So I went in with the same pink that I had used for her bow, and I did this little swirly thing around just to make it look more complete. I wanted to add a little something to the background, and I didn't want to completely color it in like a circle just because I thought that would be too distracting. But this little ribbon detail I think is really cute, and I tried to make some parts thicker and some parts thinner than others just to give it a little bit of dimension, so hopefully that worked out nicely. And on the side I wrote Inktober, Day 1, and Fish. That way when I'm looking back and reviewing all my Inktober sketches, I know exactly what this one was for. And that is it, you guys. This is the finished product. I am really happy with the way it turned out. I just really like it. And I sincerely hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want more Inktober videos like this, then please make sure to leave a like. That way I know, you guys are interested. And also, please make sure to subscribe and ding the bell to receive notifications. Okay guys, bye!